Hey, Aaron, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, good mate. Good
How you
to,
doing,
good
man?
to see you.
Thanks very much for speaking to me. I know you were a busy chap at the moment, just getting ready for the album release. I appreciate your time, sir.
Okay, no worries.
So, I've got first of all, congratulations on the album. I've just been giving it a good listening to the last couple of days. Oh, I love it to bits, man. It's really good.
Oh, thank you so
Um,
much.
what kind of struck me about it first was like the last album was called Knowledge, Freedom, Power, and it was all. But you wanted to go about bringing kind of this album out that would kind of see things in a kind of a lighter vein, not to what was going on. But this time, things have got a lot worse.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
your
yeah,
lyrics have got a lot darker as well at the same
yeah.
time, no? Was it just because of what happened, or what was it that you decided this time you needed to kind of dig into what was going on
I
and kind
think
of
yeah,
shine
yeah.
the darkness of those things through
Yeah, I
your
mean
album?
that's our sort of natural state, really.
Yeah.
If there's a common theme to all our albums, that they're a bit sort of I don't know, darker and dystopian, and um, existential, like exploring sort of deeper human emotion and bringing that to the surface, kind of thing. Um, yeah, with knowledge, reading, power, we were just trying different things really and moving into different territory, and that was good. That was where reflected where we were at mentally at the time, or me personally, in terms of the lyrics. But yeah, obviously there were not that this album is massively political necessarily, but
Sure.
necessarily because maybe there's one track on there maybe that's sort of got a bit political, but mostly it's about it. Us engaging with the world as it is today, like increasingly lived online, multiple versions of the truth, and how sort of disorientating and confusing and like kaleidoscopic that existence is. Do you know what I mean? And like it's kind of a reflection of that, really. And then there's other songs in it that are more around sort of intimate human emotion, like relationship stuff, and I think that sort of the contrast of that all that stuff going on in the outside world and try to find some connection with people despite all that is probably at the heart of the record, really.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's quite a double-edged sword because obviously it's the music that speaks for itself, but at the same time, for you to get out there, especially nowadays, social media and all the internet, it's like a vital tool for you. So it must be quite, at the same time, it's quite difficult to criticize something that you need to use every day for a kind of your work tool, no?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, having an opinion in that environment as well is dangerous in itself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we are so polarized, and like you, having a stance on something will could divide your audience and all that kind of stuff as well. But at the same time, like I can't sort of exist in that world and not. And there's enormous positives from social media as well. Like a lot of our crowd have come through social media and our following and everything. So there's lots of positives to it, but also I think it can be tools for division and like bad interests can use social media really well to sort of further their own agendas, kind of thing. But yeah, I said AI is another bit as well. Like this, some sort of techno fear. It refers to AI a little bit, and know this I am as well. Like that sort of looming sort of artificial intelligence thing being quite a scary prospect, but at the same time, I embrace that as well. In like some of the visuals that we've got around the album, we've used artificial intelligence stuff like that. So it's a bit that both AI and social media, I have a slightly uncomfortable relationship with, but I do use them.
Mhm. I mean, you said that you use it for visuals. For music, I presume I'm because it's kind of something that scares me as well. As a fan of music, I'm not a musician myself, but as a fan of music, I really do hope that musicians don't kind of deep dive into AI and see what they can kind of get out of that. Is that something that you try to
We haven't, we
assume,
haven't, we haven't
steer
used,
away
yeah,
from?
we haven't, no, I haven't used AI for music really. What was good for, what it was good for, it's good for the visuals, and it's good for sort of, when we'd finished the record, and I was sort of looking back at the lyrics and going, trying to summarize what those songs are about. So like, preparing for things like this, or you don't always know in when you're in it what the sort of, what it most of the time you know what it means, but like sometimes it's helpful to have a summary. So I put the lyrics in Chat GPT
Right.
and got it to interpret the theme of each tune. It was so mad. It was like going to a therapy session. So like it fairly accurately describe what each
Read your
song was
mind.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, but it was like also quite worrying that I was
No, it's
I
quite freaky. So I've
probably
just kind of
need.
done a few experiments with it, just to kind of like you said, like a therapist. I kind of ask questions that I might ask a psychologist. Someone that it's pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, mate, your audio's gone there.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just sorry about that. It just switched itself off again. I don't know what happened there. No, so I was just saying that it's quite freaky how human it can kind of come across, and I ended up kind of talking for about half an hour just because it just kind of pulls you in.
That's us criticizing technology there, mate. That's why the mic stopped working.
Elon Musk was listening. Was listening in. Yeah. Something that I appreciate as well. I was reading because I got the press release today about kind of some of the ideas behind some of the tracks, and I quite enjoyed the fact that especially one song, "Pirouette," you kind of also tried to kind of express that kind of the social media and the internet, all those kind of things sonically as well in that song as well. Now, can you tell me a little bit about how you tried to kind of convey that idea through the music as well?
Well, yeah, I mean that one does sort of it's called Pirouette because it's I mean, I reference it in the chorus as well, but it's like a spinning cycle kind of thing through the like melodically through the chorus, and it's just like a musical representation of that feeling like you're in the middle of like a whirlwind or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good track that one. I think it's got with the little bit. We've played 2 shows of the album in full, and it's gone down very well live. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one lives in the world.
Uh-huh. Sorry, and then I was going to say that a couple of the other songs they're kind of more commercial. I don't know if that was something that intentionally. It said that a couple of songs you kind of felt that maybe they didn't fit in with your kind of comfort zone, but then in the end they kind of worked out. How did those come about? Especially kind of Boys So Blue was very. It felt very. I mean, you mentioned in the press release that it kind of took you back to like the Depeche Mode early days, those kind of things, Erasure. But at the same time, it does feel very kind of Coldplay commercially type sound. Was it very intentional on your part, or you kind of
that one was
at first to do that kind of music?
Yeah, that one was one that I started at home on synth, and I love that kind of music personally. Like I like the early Depeche Mode, just can't get enough type, and Erasure, and we listen to that kind of music backstage and everything as well. But I mean, it is out of our comfort zone. But and it was like, especially we went into the studio with it in a certain way, and then the producer got hold of it, and he pushed it even further in that direction, almost to the point where it sort of sounds like a remix. Like Kurt and David in the band would add that assessment of it, so it sounded like a remix. But I'm like, well, it goes to its natural home. Do you know what I mean? When you're writing stuff, it's like that one felt like that's where it should be. You know what I mean? And we kind of let the songs dictate where they end up sonically. Do you know what I mean? And there's some tracks on the album that are really sort of delicate and lo-fi and organic sounding, whereas that one's sort of really commercial. Animals is another one that's very commercial, and that's another out of our comfort zone one. Like, but Kurt came up with the guitar riff for that. I was like, that sounds like a big positive stadium rock tune. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, let's just lean into that a little bit more. I mean, not that we aren't, we do have a big sound anyway, but it's a brighter, more different. Yeah. And I mean, we're not trying to sort of. We try and write songs with great melodies and interesting lyrics and stuff like that. So I assume we're always trying to be poppy to a degree. And like, if you've got, I always think you want it to be hooky anyway. And if you've got something to say, you want people to, you want it to be as memorable as possible melodically, so that people hear what you got to say. Do you know what I mean? You got more chance of people listening to it again and again if the melodies are memorable. Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, then on the other side of the coin, the song that you said kind of it came about probably the most organically and was kind of more your kind of sound was "Loved You Then."
Right. Yeah.
I think that was a track that you came about. I think you did it in the you kind of came. It was born in the practice room. No, that kind of came about more organically. No.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we had the bit that is sort of the middle eight was originally the chorus on that one, and we went and demoed it with Phil Bullerman, who worked with us on the second and third albums. Mm-hmm. So and that was really comfortable and everything. But when we were in that studio, I think the new chorus came in that environment because it was like with it just being the verse and then the sort of middle eight bit, it all was quite downbeat, and then bringing in the "Loved You Then, but I Hate You Now" chorus, like lifted it somewhere else. And I thought quite like the joy in the chorus, it's sort of contrasting with the lyrics of it's a song about sort of blaming your life's woes on your parents and stuff like that. Something that I've heard many times, and it really is. There's made people blaming a lot in life on the start in life when there's a bits of that sometimes that you feel yourself, but yeah, I thought it's something that would resonate with people anyway. Let's put it that way.
And then obviously I don't want to talk about every single track, but you just released a new single today, just ahead of the new one, which is Our Song Is Sung, which is kind of very much the antithesis of love songs, no? Was there a specific reason why you decided to go? It's about, I don't know if it's about a physical divorce or it's kind of leaving things in the past to kind of look forward. Was that kind of what you're doing with this album? Was it one of the earlier tracks, and that was kind of what you looked for with this album at all?
Well, it was kind of. It started out. The idea for the lyrics started out from literally a moment. When me and my wife and Eden sit down to watch TV, we're at opposite ends of the ends of the sofa, and I like that particular night. I was feeling that distance. Do you know what I mean? And not like
right.
And then you sort of expand out from that moment and go and just create the sort of the drama of like a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that scenario, and also but also approaching that with love and respect for the other person, but looking positively towards the future, kind of thing. And it just felt like that musically anyway. Like that's kind of the environment that it felt like sort of felt like that kind of tune. So that I'll usually have the melody first and apply lyrics that suit the melody, if you know what I mean. And that's just what it brought out of me, basically.
Okay, what I want to go back to a little bit is obviously you've got this album coming out. You are self-releasing it, which is always a one hell of a struggle. It's a lot of hard work. Like I said, obviously, social media, the internet is essential for that as well. I just wanted to know what kind of the challenges of self-releasing, but also the advantages for you. Why you think it works for you in the best way possible.
I mean, we've been on a label before, and then you sort of, having been there, you sort of see the mechanics of the team that are involved in something like that, and we have a lot. But we're able to do that, bring those people in ourselves pretty much. So it's assembling a similar team that we might have with a label. A lot of the time, a label is just a loan, really. So like you just go in, they'll give you an advance on the record, and then you know what I mean. But we had the money from previous records, you know what I mean. So we were able to self fund it, and knew what we were doing at this point in time. So it's like, yeah, and you have more. I mean, we've never had a label that sort of be too forthright with not being A&R'd or told what's a single and what's not, kind of thing. So the creative control for that kind of thing is not that big a deal. But yeah, we've always been dead close to the social media, running that ourselves, and had a very clear idea of how we should be presented and that kind of thing. But yeah, we have got a team around us as well now. I've got management and an agent that books our tours, and a campaign manager on this who's got great experience, and distributors for the record and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we're 7 albums in. We know that stuff because we've done it a few times now, you know. But yeah, it is certainly possible to be a DIY artist. I mean, if definitely. You just uploading tracks or whatever to a digital distribution platform that go to put it on Spotify and stuff. That in the early days, like album 2, we'd figure that kind of stuff out for ourselves. But yeah, when it came, although on that record, we did release the second album with no barcode on the back. We didn't the charts weren't a consideration for us at that point. Do you know what I mean? But hopefully this time they are. Well, I'm sure they will be. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's all good fun. It's stressful at times. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it kind of keeps your your kind of creative juices flowing in other ways. Now.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I want to talk about is you've got like a special. I was looking online what you've got kind of on offer for people to buy the record. You've got a special lanyard, which kind of that caught my attention because there's plenty of stuff on there. Was that what kind of stuff can people get on there?
We've got like video tour diaries from the tour, but the tail end of last year, and some of the shows that we've got coming up. We just keep adding stuff to it. So we've got a special live version of Techno Fear as well, like a performance video of that. We've got just today we've put an acoustic version of Blood So Blue on there. It's just to offer something different, really. I mean, one of the reasons we did it was it was a way of some people buying something physical on the last tour, which would count as an album sale in week one.
Right.
Something we'd seen Shed 7 do before when we were on tour with them. They'd done it, although I think with them it was like in exchange for a CD, whereas ours is like a digital product basically. But yeah, it's finding little cute ways of doing something different like that just all adds to the numbers at the end of the day, and gives people something different as well. Like it's not just the same record but with a different format. Do you know what I mean? It's that is pretty interesting. That.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Shed 7 as well, I spoke to Richter recently. I mean, obviously they're self-produced as well. They've got two number ones last year, so fingers crossed for you guys as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you said that you toured with them last year, and I think when I was speaking to Rick, he said that the first gig that you ever went to, I think, was a Shed 7 gig. Is that right? So
that's correct. Yeah.
For you to support them in. Was it 2023?
Yeah,
I think you supported them, no?
Yeah, it was top. It was good. Yeah, it was good, and he's a lovely guy. That I mean, out of all the bands we've been out with, to be honest, they're probably like the most friendly and most like seen us after every show and all that kind of stuff, and really made an effort. So yeah, like the top people, and we'd sort of picked up a few tricks from them off that tour. But I've always liked Shed 7. I saw them. Yeah, first gig I went to back at the Academy, Manson was supporting them.
Right.
And, I always thought the songs are really great. I said to Rick as well. I think the Killers nicked their sound. I think like I remember name dropping here, but we were doing an interview at Revolution in Oldham, where Clint Boone used to DJ, and Manny from the Stone Roses was DJing at the time, and we went in for an interview with him. This is in my old band, right. And we were talking about the Killers, and I thought, I love the Killers. Don't get me wrong. I was like, yeah, they're just selling Shed 7 back to us. Yeah. So I told Rick that, and he did see the parallel as well. Funnily enough.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about it, but yeah, now that you say it does, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Brilliant. But talking of touring, I know you're off to Europe as well this time.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not too long, and they're pretty much sold out, all of them as well. No.
Yeah. I think we've got a couple left in literally like 15 or something left in Groningen, and then I don't know 50 or so left in Amsterdam at Paradiso. It's going to be top. Like we've built up an audience out there over the last couple of records, and it's great, to go and be doing a gig to 400 or 500 people in those cities as well as home is really good, and important as well for the band's development to sort of have, it's not just the UK, but being able to go out Europe makes it more realistic that we'd go full time on it again, basically.
Yeah. And it's not easy now. I mean, it's obviously it's a fair bit of money to get these tours going. Not like it used to be.
No, yeah, Brexit made things more complicated with merch and stuff like that. Sometimes we have to source merch out there rather than taking it over and going through carnets and all that kind of nonsense. But and in terms of overseas sales as well, like that was a bit of we took a hit on when Brexit came in, because the charges for sort of shipping and all that kind of stuff are a lot greater. So yeah, it's definitely more difficult than it was. But obviously, bands are still managing to do it. It's just your progress won't be as quick, because you're not getting as much out of the opportunity financially as you would have done previously, basically.
Yeah. So just before I let you go, then, just so people can know what they'll be expecting, not from the album, but from what you've got kind of planned for the live scene. Is there anything special that you can tell us about these live gigs that we're probably not used to seeing with you before?
Well, I mean, the ones that are immediately coming up, we'll be playing this record in full, and then like a 4 or 5 older tunes as well at the end of the set. But yeah, that's a first for us anyway. Like playing an album in full on a new record, it's really exciting. It's like for a lot of them, it's like at least 6 of the tunes people won't have heard before. So yeah, it's a bit nerve wracking, but brilliant for it. I mean, exciting. And then later in the year, we've got a few festivals. We've got Neighbourhood Weekender, Why Not Festival, Bearded Theory. We're supporting Elbow at Castlefield Bowl
as well. Yeah, that'd be a huge gig. Yeah.
And then we're going to be doing some stuff later in the year. But I won't say anything about that yet. But yeah, it's good. Got a lot of cool stuff planned.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. So listen, thanks very much for your time, Aaron. I wish you the best of luck with the album Out of a Dream when it comes out on Friday.
Thanks,
Fingers crossed it goes as high as possible. And I hope to catch you at a gig sometime soon.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, thanks very much for your time. Take care then.
Cheers.